The chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think qualifies for Masters Coliseum 7. Will it be our Protoss or our Zerg? Up to you to determine who makes it in and who makes it out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, currently teamless, looking for a team deserving to be on the team. It is DRG. The one true Dom. Let's go. Give me a suicided at the end. I mean, as we were kind of alluding to, Gumiho, he was pretty all in. Like, there was so much pressure on him to break his opponent, so he was not just trying to stretch the attention of DRG, but he was stretching his own attention as well, by split pushing and by being as aggressive as possible, just because he had lost so much in the lead up to it. So, on the one hand, like, yeah, probably he did, like, overextend, true, but on the other hand, like, he also kind of had to. Like, he had to just be in the face of DRG as much as he could in that last game. But you know, now we're getting into our next series here. We're getting into our next game, and oh boy, we're loading into Oceanborn. This is going to be an interesting one. Classic has a, so I want to say, unique style. I mean, he's a very stylistic player, that is true. But in PvZ, he has, yeah, his own vibe, if you will. And he's very fond of going for Stargate openers into Void Rays or Phoenixes, one or the other. Of course, with the Void Ray or the Phoenix, he does deny vision, deny any scouting information from his opponents, and from there, Classic, he is so keen to go into either Glaive Adepts or Sky Toss or 2-base all-ins or even standard play. It can be very difficult to keep up with Classic. And that's kind of the story that we saw leading into ESL Masters Winter. It's the story that we saw even in the event itself, in DreamHack Atlanta, where we casted him against Lambo in the knockout brackets. Again, Classic is a very aggressive player in this matchup, and we'll see if DRG can keep up. I believe we casted these two face-off in the qualifiers for IEM. Yes, we casted DRG versus Classic in the Asia qualifiers for IEM Katowice, and DRG came out on top. He was able to beat Classic there in those qualifiers. But that was, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? It was the week before DreamHack Atlanta, which I think is like 3 weeks ago at this point. So, you know, some time has passed. Our players have had time to reflect and ruminate. And there it is. There is that Phoenix opener. So this is what we mentioned. This is what we spoke about. Classic is very fond of either Phoenix or Void Ray openers to shut down these Overlords and to hide his follow-up tech. Whether it's real or fake, whether he invests into something cheeky or not, his opponent doesn't know. That's the power behind this opener. Likewise, if they get across the map, they're going to be threatening a shade here towards the main, towards the natural, and they will get in. So far, they get one worker kill. Again, 2 adepts do one-shot drones. But so far, only one worker will go down. A decent amount of lost mining time. But for the most part, we will clean this up. Ooh, as we do not get another drone in the main. Behind this, third base is being taken, but I'm more concerned or more curious about what happens next. Do we get a Forge and a Robo? Do we get a Twilight Council? Do we get another Stargate? That is what I want to know. As we do have a Twilight Council follow-up. I don't see a Forge. Oh, this looks like Glaives. No Forge. 2 more gateways are on the way. This looks like Glaive Adepts out of Classic. Again, he is very fond of going Glaives after a Stargate opener. It can be very difficult to scout. It can be very difficult to be ready for. Ooh, that is +1 melee. That is concerning. This looks like DRG may skip the Roach Warren. +1 melee is usually indicative of Ling Hydra, not Ling Roach. So I'm concerned here. We're going to reach the 5-minute mark. If we don't see a Roach Warren, these Adepts could do a lot of damage. I'm assuming Adepts, but that is a Robo. That is... It's a Zealot all in. Let's go! We have 2 gateways done, 6 gates on the way. This is going to be 8 gates in total. And whether it was a depths or charge, the problem is no roaches. Only Lings to defend. Lings and Queens. And if we go for a Hydrodam, which I believe we want to go for, DRG is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. He's trying to get a read on what's going on. And again, this is basically going to be an all-in out of Classic. Prism is on the way. Now we get the Roach Warren at the around 5 minute 30 mark. It is later than normal, but at least it's on the way. And again, very necessary. Oracles will scatter. We're going to even go for stasis. Up! Did you pull back in time? Thankfully, you pull back in time. Behind this, Ling's going to be threatening that third. This is going to be a bit of a tell, as a couple of Zelts are revealed. Lack of Stalkers as well. So, very important scout from DRG. He doesn't have the entire, like, puzzle, but he has a piece. He has a piece of the puzzle to try to piece together what is happening. As here we go, the push is upon us, and that is a lot of Zealots. We have the Prism to reinforce. I believe the move out was not scouted. But there we go, we have Roaches on the way, Spine Crawlers as well. Looks like DRG has got a glimpse of this and is now fully aware of what's going on. Now again, because of the late Roach Warren, 0 Roaches right now. We have 7 in production, but they're still in production, by the way. DRG is woefully underprepared. The Zealots, they get in, big stasis trap into the mineral line, catching so many drones, and the Roach Warren is gonna fall. 7 Roaches is all that DRG has to work with, and we have an overwhelming army. Good positioning here on the ramp, though. I'm loving the positioning. I'm loving the choke point. But the Zealots are still breaking through. GG gets called. It's just too much damage, and Classic will take game number 1. GG. And again, this is very Classic-esque. If you've been watching Classic recently, if you've been tuning into the CranKy Ducklings, you would know that Classic is all about, again, going for that initial Stargate, denying vision, and then going for something crazy behind it. He's very aggressive in PvZ and very unpredictable as well. Not just that, on top of that, DRG did cut corners. It was a very late Roach Warren. Very late. It looked like a reactive Roach Warren, actually. Remember, I'm pretty sure, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure DRG only threw down the Roach Warren after he saw the lack of Stalkers at the third. Which again, was just a really late scout, really late reaction, and because of that, he only got 1 wave of Roaches, only 7 Roaches, and they were still in production when the army arrived. Yeah, and it was just, DRG cutting too many corners, especially when he didn't know what was happening. That's the big thing there. DRG, he was being denied scouting, and he still decided to delay that Roach Warren anyway, instead of playing safe. He had an option there. He had the option to play safe if he wanted to. He opted not to, and he was, again, caught with his pants down by his opponent. And that is game 1 in the books, and now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Red Zerg. Currently teamless, down in the series, he needs to fight back here and now. It is DRG. And I would not be surprised if Classic goes for a Stargate opener into Phoenix again, and this time goes for something different. Instead of going for a charge all-in with 8 gateways, he could go into Glaives, or again, double Stargate Void Ray, or double Stargate, yeah, Sky Toss, or anything else. I love the idea of Classic playing with the series and opening up similarly, but doing something different behind it. Just trying to go for the mind games, trying to get into the head of DRG as he is going for the gold! And he gets scouted immediately! Oh god, not like this. We've seen this before. This is the dark variation of rushing into the gold base. It is faster because you don't mine through these mineral patches to get onto the other side. The problem is very fast scout from Classic, and a Forge. We're cannon rushing. We have the Forge as a follow-up. A very quick scout here from Classic, very crisp reaction. The cannon rush will deny this base. There is no way to save it. Classic just shutting this down before it could really get going. Este Classic. He's just all over this. Pylon is done. Cannons will soon be on the way once the Forge finishes. And DRG doesn't see. He doesn't know Cannons are now on the way, and even if he saw this, what could he really do about it? The spawning pool still isn't done. He has no access to Lings. Boys are being pulled, and they're being pulled back. DRG gets eyes on the cannon, and we'll see if he commits. Yeah, he cancels. Gonna have to expand elsewhere. A big delay on the natural. A big loss for DRG. He has to double expand. Yeah, he has 100%. He has to double expand to catch back up. Taking his natural and his third base at the same time. Classic is looking good. He's looking pretty good here. He even cancels the cannon as well, recognizing he doesn't need it. We have the Zelda as well that was popped out. Then we did Chrono. And we can just be as annoying as possible. We could potentially get a drone as well, as the Zelda is going to be threatening that main base. Pulling back, forcing out more Lings. Lings that I'm sure DRG doesn't want to make. And from here, Classic is expanding. We have our pylon. We're soon to have our tech of choice. And it should be a Stargate, but we'll see if we go into a different direction. And there it is. Stargate is on the way. So here in the early game, again, it's a really big blow to the economy and production of DRG. To be stuck on one hatchery for that much longer is brutal. So here in the early game, DRG is essentially playing one step behind. On the one hand, you could argue like, oh, but Classic, he had to invest into a forge and into a cannon. True, but remember, he canceled the cannon. Like, it was a very light commitment here. Not much investment out of Classic to achieve so much. As the Adepts have arrived, they deny mining here. They force back those drones. 2 Adepts, 1-shot drones. So, again, we just force even further delayed mining here for DRG. Lings have arrived, and they're going to be going us around. They do dive on top of the Zealots. Not a bad pickoff. And behind this Stargate opener, not into a Phoenix, we're going into an Oracle. Okay, it's going to be Oracle first here from Classic. Something looking a lot more standard. Should be a triple Oracle opener into a third. The Classic with a much more standard follow-up this time. At least for now, it looks to be standard. We'll get a little bit more confirmation once we do get the third base and once we see our follow-up tech. Whether it's going to be a lone forge again. A lone Twilight Council again. But we already have the forge, so we may as well make use of it. Would make sense to invest into earlier +1. Meanwhile, speaking of early, that is a bit of an earlier Roach Warren here at the 4-minute 30 mark. So, for those that are curious about timings, safety Roach Warrens are at 5 minutes, which is why last game it was a 5-minute 30 Roach Warren from DRG because he delayed it. This is a little bit earlier, which is important to take note of. Behind this, there's that Twilight Council on the way. Bit of a gateway explosion as well. This could still be Blink Stalkers because of +1. But really, I'm looking at the droning here. DRG is droning up to 46. A really low worker count. Lings are on the way. Oracles, they catch a mineral line. An entire mineral line at that. 7, 8 drones go down. DRG's all in. He's 100% all in at this point. Lings are flooding across the map. We have the early Roach Warren, and there we go. Roaches are on the way. Queens are soon to be waddling out as well. We even have Burrow in production. We cancel it. Never mind. I was getting excited. We cancel Burrow. We realize that we need as many roaches as possible, and we are just sending it across the map. 100% all in here from DRG, and we'll see if he can break Classic. Classic does get eyes on all these Lings. Shield batteries are on the way. Good force field. Oh my god, catching so many Lings. Oh, not a good start. Not a good start for the Zerg player, as how many Lings do we bleed out? I'm afraid to look. 13 Lings go down for free, essentially. And we have 28 left. Almost half those Lings. Queens are waddling. Ravagers are on the way. How many shield batteries do we have? 2, 3 shield batteries. Cannons as well. +1 about to finish up. Now, DRG still has potential. Still has potential with this. As we keep on pushing. We have those Ravagers to deal with the force fields. But there's just still so much stack defense. Force fields are thrown down. Lings are going to be engaging. They get on top of the sentries, and every sentry is going to be going down. We do force the overcharge. The cannons finish up just in time. GG gets called. There is no breaking this third base. And Classic will take the series 2-0, qualifying for Masters Coliseum number 7. GG. GG, well played. Classic. Oh my god, in full control of that entire series here. Game 1, again, was a little bit spicier with Classic going for the all-in. Game number 2, DRG was trying to be spicy, going for that goal-based rush, rushing into that goal as is natural, but Classic, he was so quick to scout, to react, to punish it as well, and just like that, Classic shut it down and forced an all-in. Forced the all-in out of DRG. Even before DRG had lost all those drones, the 8 workers at the third base, he was already committing. We already saw the fast forward forward. We already saw the Lings in production. Like, he was already going down that path, and he could not sustain himself either after losing all those workers. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Classic. My condolences to all the fallen players here. My condolences to Gumiho, to Nightmare, to Ryung, DRG, to the big names, Creator. Let's not forget Creator as well. To the big names that did fall here today. GG. GG. Oh, hello, Wormsick, you arrived at the end, Papi. Ah. And with that, we have another qualified player. Speaking of, we can also quickly have a look at... We can have a look at the Wikipedia page itself. There we go. Okay, so we have our qualified player here. There's going to be Classic. Is going to be joining, I believe, he's going to be joining Firefly and Trigger. Firefly and Trigger. Oh, all Protoss so far. Firefly and Trigger. Firefly did qualify through the Asia qualifier, and Trigger qualified through Americas. Both of those qualifiers were casted here on the CranKy Ducklings, so if you're curious, VODs are on Twitch. So you can tune into those VODs if you're interested. Otherwise, let's quickly have a look at the main event here. Again, just to quickly go over this, just because I know there were some people that were asking about who was already invited. These are the invited players. We have Hero and Max Packs for the Protoss. We have Bunny, Bjorn, Clem, Cure, Maru, and Oliveira for the Terrans. It's a lot of Terran representation here in Master Coliseum. And then we have the Zergs, Dark, Serral, Shin, and Solar. So those were the invited players. These were based on WTL and Kung Fu Cup performances. So based on their performances, they accumulated points over the course of the season, over the course of the last 3 to 4 months. So these are the invited players, and these are the qualified players so far. I did mention them earlier: Classic, Firefly, and Trigger. So making up for the lack of invited Protosses, we have the qualified Protoss players. And there's one qualifier left. Uno más. One qualifier. It is region locked, of course. It is the European qualifier. That is tomorrow. In less than 24 hours, we're going to be live on this channel with Europa. And there are going to be some big names there. Any big Europeans that you don't see here are going to be there. Players like Skillus, players like Showtime, Rainer, Hero Marine, Spirit as well, and many others. Many others are all going to be a part of the European qualifier. Again, only one makes it out. Now, if you follow the trends, we should be getting another Protoss. Not ruling out Rainer off racing as Protoss. Kappa, possible. But we'll see if we can get some other representation, at least from the qualifiers here from Europe. We'll see. So yeah, pretty stacked tournament here. Someone mentioned earlier it's going to be a 42k prize pool, I believe, 42,000 USD. Pretty big. It is a premier event, and all 16 players get paid in some way, shape, or form. So again, it is pretty stacked. It is going to be pretty stacked. And the main event begins January 13th. So mark your calendars, January 13th, I believe, up to January 28th. Yes, so it is going to be lasting quite a while. Yeah, almost 2 weeks, essentially. 2 weeks of play. Just because there is a group stage, there's a big round robin group. And by the way, it's a big round robin group, and unlike ESL Masters, unlike DreamHack, every game is going to be casted. Every game gets casted. That's why it's 2 weeks worth of broadcasting, because every game is casted in the round robin group stage. Half the players leave, half the players advance on into the playoff bracket. Oh boy. And it's a double elimination playoff bracket as well, so may we be popping off. We oh boy. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be huge. If you're curious, this is the second Masters Coliseum of the year. We casted the first one and it's on our channel, it's on YouTube. Masters Coliseum number 6. And it was pretty intense. The storyline essentially of Masters Coliseum 6 was Cyril. Cyril, I believe, got knocked down in the first round. He got knocked down to the lower bracket, and Cyril had an insane lower bracket run as well. And I recommend checking out the broadcast, the VODs, because it was beautiful. It was beautiful how that all went and how the event did play out. But yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, it's going to be casted on this channel. We're going to be casting as much of it as we can. I'm hoping that we can cast all of it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be an intense broadcast schedule, and we have other events that are going to be ongoing as well, and other commitments that we have to other tournaments. So January, it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy month. Will be busy. All 2 zeros. All 2 true. All 2 zeros. Aye. It can be only one. Only one. Is this the end of the stream? It is. It is. Oh, hello, Jones. Hello. Yes. Again, a bit of a shorter broadcast today, just because it was a shorter tournament. It was a shorter qualifier, as you can see here. It has already ended. Has already concluded. So I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Hope everyone had a great time. And I'm okay with having some of these shorter broadcasts, just because it's the end of the year. You know, we want to chill, we want to relax, we want to calm down and enjoy the holidays. Take some time off, take a break, get some rest, get some food, and enjoy. So hope everyone had a great time here. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone. I see 4Jumi is streaming. Eva is streaming as well, so we can raid Eva. It's been a while. What's he playing? Is he playing Terran, Zerg, or Protoss? He's playing Protoss. Of course he is. Cat did. Shaking my head, Javon. Shaking my head. But yeah, with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support, and we will see you guys next time. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. I mentioned before, there is one qualifier left, the European qualifier. The EU qualifier, that is tomorrow, and that is what we're going to be casting. Quickly checking our calendar. Do we have anything else? No, it's going to be the EU qualifier, and then we get into the weekend, and then we get into the end of year. Oh my god! All right, we already had Christmas. I was like, when's Christmas? Oh, we already had it. Ah, yeah, of course. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year as well. If you don't happen to tune in the coming days, hope you all enjoy yourselves, enjoy your holidays, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Europa. Until then, hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego, papi. Hasta luego.